he's from our college only. He's passed out from our college only. He has been the school topper. Of course, he has been the school topper. He has scored 179 out of 200, a banging score in MSP CET, which is one of the difficult exams to crack. His state rank of 212 all over Maharashtra. Wow. And he was opening ranker in computer science branch in Sardar Patel Institute of Technology. He was also a ranker in our college. See, who is who can be a best guide than him? Stood distinction throughout his engineering career. Wow. And he is also the author of international paper Enhanced Security for ATM using OTP and facial recognition published by Elsevier. So you can see, how talented and how inspirational Sarat Oja sir is. He's been a topper and on various works he has done so well. He has been at the top one tier and he has received campus placement also, as I mentioned, in JPMC as an application developer in Mumbai. It's one of the world's largest multinational banks, and it's a very difficult company to get in as a application developer, as a software developer in general. So he has experience, he's a well experience in cracking such top companies. He's also corporate trainer at institutes like Speakwell, EduVoyage International Academy in Mumbai. So he's also a corporate trainer. Then he is co-founder and president of Shrestha Club, as you all know, a forum to help youths channelize their energy and potential to become a Shrestha, a leader within the society. So he's going to be the one who is going to shape the emerging leaders, along with the team, of course. And he has conducted many motivational seminars on topics like developing our self-confidence, team building, discover yourself, and knowing your inner personality and colleges like IIT Mumbai, which is IIT Bombay in Powai, then NIT, AP, VJTI, SPIT, SPC, you name the college, he has conducted a session over there. So yeah, I'm very excited, to hear him today, along with all you. So let us welcome him with a round of applause. Okay. I know you are all inside your hands, so you can clap from there only. Okay. So let's welcome him with a round of applause. So Sarat sir, now you can take over. Okay.
Okay, thanks Siddesh for having a very warm introduction. I thank all of you guys who have taken out your precious time to join us today to have something very interesting. So today is Sunday, Sunday evening, right? It's almost 5:40 that we are just about to begin. So you could have done so many different things, but you all have chosen to come today to take benefit of some of your questions. I am sure you must be having a lot of burning questions. So we'll be very happy to take some of your questions. So before we go ahead, let me tell you something interesting, and then I'll be very happy to take a lot of your questions. You can also send us on a chat, right? In case if you have got any questions. I want to share something with you all guys. What was my experience in engineering? And then towards the end, I'll share something about how Shrestha Club can actually help you to stand out in your career, in your profession, in your personal lives as well. And what all we have for you guys, right? So let me try to begin with begin with something very interesting. So just give me a minute. Yeah. So life is all about I often say that life is a game, right? So and I'm sure that you all must have played a lot of different games. One of my favorite games has been cricket and football, right? So in fact in cricket, if you observe the bowler balls and the batsman has to bat, isn't it? And there are different balls that the bowler bowls, right? Sometimes it's a googly, it's the Yorker. So, we are unable to actually, play a master stroke in our, in our match, even in our lives, right? So, in fact, some of the balls are so difficult to chase that we may get clean bowled, right? All of a sudden. So, I often say that life is exactly like a cricket match or a football game, where the ball is there and you keep on going here and there. So, the 4 years of engineering, I believe, is like a football match, right? Where sometimes you have to go from this particular exam to that particular exam, from ISCs, from midterms, from T1, T2, so many different exams that we have with each other. Mm. So amongst these exams, uh, the goal of the football is not just to keep on going here and there, trying to attend this particular event at the college, trying to attend that particular event. It's like a football. You keep on going to different events, and at the end of the day, what's the goal of the whole match is you have to put the ball in the goal post, isn't it? If you cannot put the ball in the goal post, what is the use of just playing around, in the field? Isn't it? So similarly, in our lives, there are so many different things you may come across in the engineering, right? The 4 years of engineering, especially. So before we begin, I just want to understand, and I believe you all guys must be, in first year. How many of you guys are from the first year of engineering? You can just raise hands in the Zoom. I'll be able to understand. You can just raise your hands. How many of you guys are in the first year of engineering? How many of you are in the second year? You can just raise hands in the Zoom chat. Okay, great. So we have Shekhar. Okay, thank you, Shekhar. Okay, how many of you are there from the third year of engineering? You can just raise hands. Third year of engineering. Okay, Sandeep. Okay, thank you, Sandeep, for joining. Okay, great. What about other guys? Abhijit and Abhishek, right? You guys are in which year then? Second year? Okay, yeah. So, amongst all of this, different years that you go through, one of my experiences that I would like to share with you is, in case if you are in the first year of engineering, then the first year and the second year, more or less, the first and second year of engineering, I would recommend is just focus on your academics. Focus on trying to not get a KT, because in case if you get a KT or a backlog, right, your actually scorecard, or even your resume for that matter. And we'll be talking about towards the end of the of our discussion about how you can build up your resume, till the time you come in the third year of engineering, or let's say in the seventh semester in your fourth year, and what all different companies actually want, in that sense, and how come Shrestha Club can help you to stand out from the all the other resumes in your college. So we'll speak that at the end. So in the first year and second year of your engineering, just focus on your academics, I would say, guys, and don't just get into all those, lot of different clubs and committees. And I am sure you must have come across to so many clubs and committees, right? And Shrestha Club is unlike all other committees and clubs that you would have come across by now. How? So I will tell you a very interesting, story, or in fact an incident, and I want each one of you to, tell your response. You can just raise your hands. Why do you feel so, right? And I can actually give you an access to unmute yourself. Whoever feels, I want to, so Shrestha Club is about, we want to make you involve in our discussions, right? So in that way, we actually prepare you for the placements as well every now and then, all the skills and talents that are required for the placements. So I'll tell you a very simple incident. Please hear it very carefully. There were two doctors, right? Listen it very carefully. There were two doctors, right? And you want to do your liver surgery, let's say, your liver has got damaged, right? Or your liver has got diseased, or whatever, it's not functioning properly. You have two options. There is Dr. A and there is Dr. B. Mm. Dr. A has done his MD, master in medicine, right? So he has done his MD, right? From AIMS Hospital. AIMS Hospital is one of the best hospitals in Delhi, right? You must be knowing. Now, this Dr. A, when he does surgery, it has been observed that, after the surgery, there are some parts in the body are missing actually. So let's say there is a liver surgery. So it has been observed that there are some things, in the liver, they are missing actually, after the surgery, right? And then there is Dr. B. Dr. B has done his also MD, Master in Medicine. He has done from Sasun Hospital, right? Sasun Hospital is a good hospital in Pune. How many of you must be knowing Sasun Hospital? A good hospital, or let's say KEM Hospital, right? We have it in Mumbai. One of the very good hospitals, KEM Hospital. So may not be as good as the AIMS hospital, of course. Just like in colleges, we have IIT and all those things, and then we have SPIT, SPC, something like that. So there are these two doctors. This Doctor B, who has done his MD from the KEM or Sasun Hospital, right? This doctor has been found to be of a very good character. No such cases has been found where some kidney or some liver part has been missing, right? He's a very genuine doctor, tries his level best. Mm. If given an option to each one of you, and I want to hear from each one of you, and this is what generally they ask in the interview, guys. And that's what I mentioned, that I want to hear from each one of you. In case, if you are there and you have to choose between both these doctors, can, one by one, all of you, what do you think, which doctor will you choose, Dr. A or Dr. B? You can just raise your hands. And why will you choose Dr. A? You have to tell the reason also, right? Yeah, to begin with, anybody would like to go ahead? Or I can give you the access as well to unmute yourself. Yeah, you can just unmute yourself. We have given you the access. You can just unmute your mic. Anybody would like to give any suggestions, or which doctor will you choose? Come on, guys, speak up. I hope you understood the situation, right? There was Dr. A, Dr. B. Dr. A is from AIMS Hospital, but has been found that he steals some organs, right, while doing the surgery, and whereas Dr. B, who is from KEM Hospital, right, uh, you know, he has been not found any such cases. He does the operation and like that. So, in case if you are given an option, which doctor will you choose? Any thoughts? Any suggestions? Anybody would like to speak up? Abhijit, Abhishek, Sandeep, Shekhar, any one of you? Nobody? Come on, guys. It's a very simple question. I hope it's not an IIT JEE question. Right. Anybody? Okay, when I ask, this particular case, in many colleges, I oftentimes gets a reply for Dr. B, right? And I am sure, right, many of you must also be thinking that कौन चाहेगा अपना कोई organ चोरी करना, isn't it? If you find some doctor who is trying to steal away some organs, nobody will like to get those organs get robbed or something, isn't it? So. But then oftentimes, there are some people who also say that no, sir, I will choose Dr. A. And then if I ask them, okay, why will you choose Dr. A? So they say that okay, he's having amazing competence, right? He has a great skill sets and all. So they say that chalega, risk, life is all about risk. So anyways, if you give me an option, right, and let's say if I have to choose between both these doctors, what will I do? If given an option to me, I will put both these doctors into place, and make sure that both these doctors are there, trying to do my surgery, and I'll make the Dr. A perform the surgery, right? Because he has good competence, no doubt, right? Having done his MD from AIMS Hospital, but because he has a lack of character, isn't it? And hence, Dr. B, I will keep as a watchdog. He will be watching the whole surgery and trying to monitor. Basically, वो रखवाली करेगा, right? So that the Dr. A doesn't robs anything. Exactly similar in our lives also. Both are very important, guys. As Siddhesh very nicely said, trying to share about Shrestha Club, and this is what exactly what Shrestha Club stands for. it's not only about competence and skills and knowledge, that we gather in our lives, in our engineering career, right? Even from placement point of view, and I will share that very shortly now, that what all different things you all guys can prepare for placements so that you can ace at engineering, right? The goal of engineering is not just to play like a football, just go from different events and just be a part of different, go for movies, go for that, and that is like a football. You are just playing around in the field. you know but the actual goal is, and I'm sure, you all have come to engineering to look forward for different opportunities in the future, trying to get a good job and things like that. So I will share that, how to build up the resumes, and what most of the companies they are looking for, that what are the different skill sets they look for. So so in case if you are there, so yeah, so as I mentioned, that it's not only about it's not only about competence, skills and knowledge that you have, but it's all about the values, right? It's all about our our core values, and that's what you will see that in, in fact, in every company also, as you must have seen, even at our Shrestha Club, we have some of the core values at our play. There are 6 core values, you must have seen, right? In the slide: community, diversity and inclusion. We have team building, we have different values that we have. Even we have spirituality, right? So all these different values, even in fact, I was speaking to one of the software development managers at Amazon, so I'm in touch with, we are with many such professional people on LinkedIn, right? So we have a very bigger group actually. Even we have LinkedIn page, we have our YouTube channel. In fact, this particular session is going on live as well, on our YouTube channel. So you can also subscribe to our different social media. We are there on many handles like that. So I was just in touch, I was just interacting with one of the software development managers at Amazon. And and he was actually sharing that what Amazon is looking for. And one of the very toughest rounds of Amazon, when they take interviews and interactions, is their leadership principles. LP, they call it as leadership principles. So every company has different leadership principle, different core values, which they want every employees, everyone to have that. In fact, our own college, our own college has a vision and mission statement. And I am sure, right, when you come to college, nobody sees such things. You just take admission, अरे भाई, marks मिल गए CET में, somehow or other, or AI triple E JEE means whatever, exams you came through, somehow or other I got the seat. I लग नहीं रहा था, कोई तो college मिल गया, कोई college, और अभी आ गया college में, let me be a part of some things, somehow that I have come and just get a job. Nobody sees vision and mission statement, but these are very important, in our lives, and in fact in the future also, when you guys will go for replacements and getting a job and all. So you will see that, unless you guys take care of such core values and cultivate and inculcate these values, down the line, when you start working, when you will go ahead, you will face lot of consequences. And as they say in Hindi, अब पछताए का होता है जब चिड़िया चुग गई खेत, right? So these 4 years of engineering are exactly like, your khet is like your land, where you can plow different things and you can grow, different crops and different things, right? So you have an option for, taking care of so many amazing things, right, in this 4 years of engineering. So what I feel is, in your first and second year, of your engineering, focus on your academics, right? Try to build up a very good scorecard, because these are the good times where you need to focus on your studies, because third year and final year are the time where you should actually slowly start progressing towards your placements, right? So in fact, I often give my own example, wherein, as soon as I landed up in my it was a sixth semester. In fact, it was January or February, so in my sixth semester I started preparing slowly for the company where, in which I wanted to go. So one of my dream companies at that time, to be honest, was Nvidia. So I was a big fan of Nvidia. Somehow I was very fascinated by the graphics and all those things, GUI and all those processors that Nvidia, gaming and all those things. So I was very fascinated by. So then, I started, preparing from the sixth semester onwards, and later on in the seventh semester, itself, maybe in September month or something, I got placed. So in fact, I was getting an offer at Barclays as well. The banks, the Barclays is one of the UK banks that comes at SPIT, one of the very good banks. These are, but I got offer from JPMC, one of the another dream company, at SPIT, which people look forward for that. So anyways, so first and second year, just focus on your academics. This will be my humble guidance and advice. And okay, there are different myths, there are different myths when you come for the third year of engineering. there are various seniors you must have come across in the college who must have, yeah, you must have interacted with them, and they must have told you a lot of different things about that. In case if you don't participate in any committees or clubs and such things, then what will you write in your resume? Then आप resume में लिखेंगे क्या? पूरा resume आपका खाली रहेगा. So these are different myths actually. In fact, I will share my one of the company which came to college at SPIT, EXL करके. It's a data analytics company, EXL. And this company, when they came to college, when they were interviewing the students, and you know that when the company comes for the interview, they can't select the whole college, right? पूरे college में 300 बच्चे रहेंगे, let's say for example, who must be sitting for interviews. They don't want to take everyone, so they will take hardly few people, maybe 3 4 5 maximum. कोई एलाइट कंपनी हुआ तो एक दो ही लेके जाएगा खाली. इनफैक्ट say Microsoft, Google, or JP Morgan, all these companies, right? They will take hardly few chosen people. So this company, when they were trying to take interviews, they in fact told one of the guys, who were sitting for the interviews, they told one of the guys that, ye chal kya raha hai, every student, every other student who comes for the interview, his resume, tells about I am a core coordinator of IT committee or CISA, MESA, TESA, or all these different committees that you have, guys, at SPC, SPIT, isn't it? So these company fellow who were taking interviews were fed up, telling that, Arey, surely we want to see something about your talents apart from academics, but सबका common resume लग रहा है more or less, and सबका almost 8-pointer or whatever you have. Of course, at our times it was percentage, तो absolute. So it was, almost सबका 65%, 70% तो होता ही था, in general. So so companies were not very happy. But when it was time for me to interview, so to get interviewed, so I had mentioned about Shrestha Club and a lot of different things that we do at Shrestha Club. So company were really quite interested, and in fact many like some of the questions were directed to such kind of questions, that what is it all about, and what was your experience with Shrestha Club, and things like that. So I could see that probably this was something which stood out in my resume, because I had just because I knew that this is all just the in the college there is a great hype about committees and clubs and all. So, and if at all that is required, then I knew that Shrestha Club things is sufficient enough to get me to a good job, and I don't have to waste my time into college and different things and all. So whatever we do at Shrestha Club, it is like a whole package. You will get a whole package actually. You don't have to be a part of all those different things at all in the college. You will be skilled. You will be having competence, character, and all those different values that are required even now and in future as well. So everything will be taken care at Shrestha Club. And in fact, it so happened that I just got selected in one round of interview for your kind information. So, there was only one interview which was being performed for me. It went long, of course, went for almost 45 minutes. But after the aptitude test, it was only the one round of interview, only for me amongst all the students who got selected. I think there were some 5 people who got selected in when I was there from my branch, computers. So I was the only one. In fact, not only in fact from all the college also, I think JP Morgan had hired at that time some 10 or 12 people from amongst all the 4 branches, even MCA and all. So I was the only one who got recruited in just one round of interview. So yeah, probably this could be one of the factors I believe that could have really impressed them. And there are certain interview questions which which are which are generally targeted towards emotion and spiritual quotient. And that is what at Shrestha Club so seeing the whole situation, that's what we came up with a Shrestha Club model at at our college. And we are officially an entity in the college now, as Siddesh was very rightly telling that we have officially launched Shrestha Club at SPC. And we had recently conducted an induction program as well for the first years. And so we have actually officially conducted an induction program in the college for the first years. and we had got a very good response, right? Almost around 100 students are attended in the college. This happened offline, and we are also going to launch it in SPIT as well, right? My own college from where I graduated. So I'm very glad and happy that we'll be soon launching officially, at SPIT in the first week of May. So in the first week of May somewhere, we'll be launching it at SPIT as well. So we have very interesting things coming up at Shrestha Club, so you can also become a part, right? So in fact, what we have at Shrestha Club is something quite amazing and exciting, right? We have a lot of different programs for you guys, right? Let me just quickly give you a brief recap of how Shrestha Club can actually bring you up in different ways and means. Before I go ahead, I want to take some questions now at this point of time, and then I can share with you how Shrestha Club can, in case if any one of you guys have got any interesting questions, please feel free to unmute yourself. I'll be happy to answer in case you have got any questions. You can just raise hands, or you can just directly unmute as well. Siddesh, you want to take some questions in case somebody has got, you can just take a.
Yes, yes, sir. Okay, if someone has questions, either you can unmute yourself or you can just paste it in the chat box. We will be very happy. Sharat sir will be very happy to answer the questions. Please, guys, you need to be, open. You need to speak up. Come on, this session is for you only. So no one has any questions. Abhijit, Abhishek, Sandeep. I know you have. Don't be hesitant. Come on, you can unmute.
Yeah, I thought in fact you all guys must be having a lot of questions. Anything
Yes,
you
yes.
want to ask in person or whatever, feel free to ask.
No questions related to placements also. So I guess there are no questions. You can go ahead. Sir.
Amazing. In fact, when I was studying in my school, my teacher had taught me very interesting principle. It was that that after a lecture, two kinds of people never ask questions. There is first kind of a person who has not understood anything, right? So he never asks question, and there is second kind of a person who has understood everything. So I believe you are in the second category. Right? So that's an interesting thing. Okay, great. So should we go ahead, or how, in case you have got any questions?
So I have one question actually. I'm also a student by the way, second year SPID. So I have a question like regarding resume building. I have a question like what are the things that we should target, especially when it comes to resume building. Right now I'm in second year, right? So what things I should look forward, how much time I should invest in other committees or like how to manage overall and what the resume thing. I don't have a proper resume yet, but you can always share the input. I will be very happy to create a resume today. Okay, so can you share some
Yeah,
insights on this?
yeah, certainly, Siddesh. Thank you for asking that interesting question. So, yeah, so as far as resume building is concerned, so one of the famous websites that is very popular to build up resumes is I have just pasted it on the chat box, which we used to build up our resume. It's a very amazing site where you can get very amazing templates for resume building. It's flowcv.io. So if you just type FlowCV in the Google, you will get very amazing. These are very free utilities there. And as far as resume is concerned, there is always a tug of war between one page or two-page resume. You must have heard this. So I will go for one page. In fact, most of the companies, they just want one page resume. And in fact, when you guys are sitting for placements in your engineering, तो एक पे से ज़्यादा, I mean, they also don't expect, in case if you have done some experience, and if you have some, at least 5+ years of experience or 10 years of experience, then you can have some 2-page resume. It's still okay. So that is the very first thing about resume. Second thing about resume is, apart from the core skills, which are certainly, if you are applying for some core companies of your branch or whatever, or any IT companies also, whatever, so apart from core competency, which is of course going to be there, another very important thing, which company focuses is on the projects, right? What are the different projects you have done in your academics? So make sure that you have a couple of good projects, where you have done an honest contribution. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि कोई project आपने डाल दिया, but you hardly did any contributed, in that project. So make sure that be honest, in your resume. Oftentimes people have a tendency to just write anything and everything just because थोड़ा भरा भरा लगेगा. So don't be in that particular thing. कम रहेगा चलेगा एक बार, but जो लिखो, be honest with that, and prepare well, before the interview, in fact. So resume is is basically your face. It actually depicts your face in written form. What is your personality, you know so keep it short and sweet, and be honest, with whatever you have done. Second very important thing in the resume, apart from the core competence and the skill sets, that is definitely going to be seen by the company, and the projects that you have done, because project shows that how much you have actually worked on those skills. Because skills तो आपने लिख दिए, मेरे को ये आता है वो आता है, you have done different skills, like in IT तो कितने सारे कुछ है. I know C, C++, Java, Kotlin, and Kubernetes, and Bopre. There is a whole list of all the technologies that I know. और आजकल तो जावास्क्रिप्ट के तो नाती पोते बहुत कुछ आ गए हैं. एंगुलर, रिएक्ट, एंड वो चलते रहता है, व्यू जेएस, दिस दैट, पूरा भर जाएगा आपका रेज्यूमे. So there is no dearth of competencies and skills, in today's world, and the companies also know that. That there are so many different platforms where you can learn so many different skills and all. अगर मानो आप सिविल इंजीनियरिंग से, इलेक्ट्रिकल, मैकेनिकल से, सो आपके भी काफी सारे सॉफ्टवेयर होंगे, कटिया एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स, राइट? I may not fully aware AutoCAD or all this, designing softwares and all those different things. So make sure that whichever company you are applying to, write down, prepare those resumes for those companies. So and second, very important thing is, apart from this core competence, skills and all, the next important thing that a company wants to see is about your life skills. How are you able to tackle, can you write some situation, or they want to see something out of the box, which shows your leadership things actually. And that's what, I was mentioning about LP, in Amazon, right? Leadership principles. So all these big companies, big shots, in case if you are thinking of trying to get into some of the very good companies and all, so how you can stand out, as I was mentioning one example of EXL company, right? So EXL company आया, but they couldn't figure it out, with guys who were just coming and writing with all those different things, same मोटा मोटी वही सब चीजें लिख रहे थे सब लोग. So you need to stand out in your resume. Write down some leadership things you have exhibited, in some project, or in some in some event, or whatever, so like stand out, from others basically. So that is one of the tips that I would give, that try to do something out of the box, like that. So Shrestha Club gives lot of different things, in case if you are looking to stand out, in that way. So I hope that answers your question, Siddesh.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So
Thank
great.
you, sir.
Anything else? Anybody has any other questions before I go ahead with how we can actually help you guys? What Siddesh had asked is a very interesting question, and it says Siddesh said that he is in second year of engineering in in ECE branch, electronics and communications. So, and I believe you guys also, many of you are from second year, third year, right? So it's very very important. And so let me share that, what all we have for you guys, to help. So we have various volunteering and leadership opportunities in Shrestha Club, right, for you all. So we believe, we are actually a team of very interesting people, and we have different positions just like any other committees you may have observed. So even at our Shrestha Club, if you are looking to build up your resume, so you can use Shrestha Club for that purpose, right? So we have all different positions open. We have secretary, right? Operations team. We have the creatives team, right? We have the content creation team. We have public relations team. And we have the web development team, right? For those who are techies, we have the web part. So in fact, we are currently going on with different interviews as well for different all these different teams at Sheshta Club. So these are all different things, like operations team. If I tell on what are, like, in one line I can describe is, what we look at operations is, we want you guys who are bubbling with enthusiasm to trying to organize some things, like our webinars, seminars, or like we have Zoom programs for today, since today is Sunday and all. So we thought of conducting a Zoom session. In fact, yeah, before I miss out, we are also going to conduct an offline meet, guys, right? Since today we are just meeting online, so we are also planning to meet all of you guys, and we'll be very happy to meet you offline in the college, right? Maybe on Thursday or somewhere like that, right? This coming Thursday, we are looking to meet all of you guys in the college, and I'll be happy to meet with you. And in case if you are interested, right, we can help you a lot, like that, to bring you on board at Sheshta Club as well. And before we take you in all these different teams and committees that we have at Sheshta Club, what we actually focus on more is on self development. So at first at Sheshta Club, we have is the self development. So we want to groom your talent first, and then make you get you into the team, and make you work on a particular task or particular thing. Like if you are a part of operations team, then you are expected to handle the programs, and trying to organize some different things. Creatives team, so different posters you can see, like this is PPT, right? So PowerPoint presentation, and I am sure you must be really fascinated, right, seeing the PowerPoint presentation. Very amazing PowerPoints we have. So and then we have the content creation team. So we have very 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 interesting people who just work on content, right? Raw content, and extracting different contents from internet, and a lot of different things. There are a lot of things already there, in the internet. You just have to pick it up. And then we have public relations team, PR team. They work with trying to send messages and handle the social media and all of the different things. You are the face of Shrestha Club, public relations team. And then web development team, as I mentioned, it's not about websites, it's about different mailers that we have at Shrestha Club. So there are different things that you can learn also. And as I mentioned that before we take you into all these different teams, right? Yeah, so the volunteers drive is open, right? It is very much open. And the steps are very simple. You need to register the Google form. The top 50 resumes will be selecting, and then you need to crack the interviews. It's very simple. So the link is right there. Maybe Siddesh can also paste it. You will also get this link in the chat box very soon. So you can actually register on the Google form, right? So in case if you guys have not yet made your resume, it's a good time to work on your resumes as well. So you can try to upload your resume as well, on this particular. So there's a link on the Google form. Here is something very interesting, as we were mentioning about that before we take you in, right, to any of our committees and all. We have a rule at Shrestha Club. We have a very interesting thing at Shrestha Club is, we first work on developing your personality and self development, right? And this is something very interesting, and something which is out of the box. You must have not seen this in different committees and clubs, right? So before we actually make you work, and like that, we first give you a lot of different things. So before we take some output from you, we give you input. Right? Because in computer science we have a principle of garbage in, garbage out. Right? So so we actually try to give you first a lot of interesting things, for you to groom your talent first, and then you can use your talent then, isn't it? When you have shined yourself, as you can see in the picture, right? So when you shine, when you are developed with different skills and all, then you can bring out yourself very nicely. in any of the teams you wish to join later, operations or be it creatives, anything. So how we go ahead with personality and self development is, so at Sheshta Club, we have very interesting thing, right? What is the upcoming next is a course for all of you guys. So it's a very interesting journey, right? As we mentioned that, spirituality, the emotion and spiritual quotient. So at Sheshta Club, we have this very interesting course for you all guys, who want to join us and who want to really bring up their career, really build up their resume very nicely, become a, enhance your overall personality, very nicely. So this is a very interesting course, which is, very amazing, amazing discovery that you will be making through this course. Like you guys have seen, like I am from computer science, Siddesh is from electronics and communications, you guys must be from civil, mechanical, electrical, whichever different branches, right? Or maybe from IT or different branches, right? So we are trying to discover so many different things, right, to our engineering, like as computer science graduate, we discover a lot of different processes and, RAM, ROM, all those different hardware, software, so many different things are there in the computer science, right? In electronics and communication, again, so many different things that you discover in civil, electrical, mechanical, so many different things to discover. But all these discoveries that we do in our life, is we are all looking for one thing actually. Can you say what is that one thing we are all looking for? Is happiness, isn't it? We are all looking for satisfaction in life at the end of the day, isn't it? And how can we actually gain happiness in our life, is is not through just money, or is not just to grabbing some good job or something. And this is what something is very interesting at Sheshta Club, when we actually try to develop some inner qualities, right? When we try to make our value system very strong, right? And this values will be also used in the companies when you go ahead in your life, right? As we were mentioning, right, the two doctor story, right? It's not only about competence. The Dr. A was very good in competence, but he was lacking character. So this particular discovery is all about discovering our true potential in us, right? Who we are, right? And what is the surrounding all about, how we can truly use our mind very, very amazingly, right? The mind is a great tool. So we often wish to discover all the processes and machines and gadgets and utilities around us, but we fail to use our own utility, which is such a great gift given to us, right? Which is our own mind, isn't it? So how can we really make the best use of our mind, in the right direction? How many times it has happened that you wanted to do something but you ended up doing something else? आपने plan बनाया 1 2 3 4 5, and today I will study this much. But at the end of the day you realize that अरे ये सब कुछ भी नहीं हुआ, मैं YouTube ही देखते रह गया. पूरे दिन भर में YouTube, LinkedIn and so many social handles are there, right? So rather than doing something, so this particular course, Discover Yourself, it's actually a 6-session journey, right, where you will go through different amazing topics that we have, right? To begin with, we'll be having Discover the Game of Life, very interesting, where we'll see that what is your personality type, right? There are different personality types, how you can cultivate good habits, right? How we can actually truly match the frequency of our mind, how we can truly utilize the true potential in us, how we can truly solve the real problems of life, right? So we are currently going through so many problems, in your own engineering, in your own career, in your own life, right? So we'll try to discover a lot of different things in this. It's a very interesting course, right, which we recommend in the beginning to all of you guys, right, who are budding youths, right? Discover Yourself. So I hope you are guys excited, right? Give me some thumbs up, guys. Just give me some thumbs up, right, to cheers up, right? I hope you are all appreciating this, right? Yeah, thank you, Sandeep, for that. Right. So okay, again, with that short things, in case if you have got any other questions, on the course or anything else, anybody has got any questions on the course, how this course is going to happen, or things like that. Any questions anybody has got? You can just unmute yourself, in case anyone wants to ask any questions. We have given you the access. Abhishek, Sandeep, you want to ask any questions? Okay, we have one more guy, Rushikesh. Any questions anybody has got?
Sir, would you please show us some sample of ideal resumes?
Okay, sample of ideal.
Yeah.
Of course, I may not have at the moment, some of the things, But one thing is, as I mentioned, one of the links, right, in the on the chat, right, flowcv.io, right. If you can just Google it out, you will get a lot of sample resumes there also. There are various sample resumes available on this particular link as well. So you can actually go through this. Go through this later on, not now. You can just take a note now, and then later on after this session, you can go through that. Does it answers your question, Sandeep?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else? Any other questions anybody has got? Abhishek, Rushikesh. Okay. Okay, I believe you are in the second category. You have understood everything. Okay, so as far as okay, how many of you are excited for joining Shrestha Club, and especially this particular course that we are doing, personality and self development? How many of you are excited and fascinated by by seeing that course? You can give me a thumbs up, right? So that we can actually try to share some of the very interesting details about this particular thing. Yeah, thank you for that. So one of the thing is, before we take a pause is we have, of course, we'll be sending you the feedback as well, right? Because your feedback truly matters, right? So we have a lot of interesting things at Shrestha Club. To begin with, we'll be beginning with this course, Discover Yourself. So I just want to know some from all of you guys, Abhishek, Rushikesh, Sandeep, that when can we start with this course, and when can we begin with this particular sessions. So it's a very interesting course which will be conducted offline in the college. So I want to know from you, before we go ahead, where all you stay. Can I just know, so that in case if you are staying in hostel or in PG with your friends, then accordingly we can adjust, right? Then we can even do it on weekends or something like that, or we can even do it a little later after your college hours. So I just want to know, can I just know how, like, you are all from which like like where all you stay and all. Maybe one by one you all can say. Abhishek, you can just unmute yourself, like where do you stay and things like that.
So, Abhishek, can you just unmute yourself?
Okay, Sandeep, where do you stay?
Sir, in Kopargaon.
Oh, acha acha, okay. Hmm. So okay, fine then. So what we can do is, we'll then try to share with you the details of this Discover Yourself sessions, right? In the feedback form also we will be putting out the link, right? So you can then try to register there.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
Okay, so thank you very much for joining. So with that, let us take a pause. Right. So I thank you for your time. Thank you, Siddesh, right, for hosting this seminar. Right.
Thank you so much, Sharad sir, for your awesome insights on various topics. Regarding the resume building and various topics you have covered, we have understood, how interesting the journey is going to be of Shrestha Club, and we are very excited to see Shrestha Club, especially in our college, SPIT, and under your mentorship, under your guidance, everything is going to be great. Everyone is going to excel in all the domains, in leadership especially. So it's my humble. सारे लोग क्या लगाते हैं. Okay. So I express my gratitude and thankful, thanks to you. Thank you so much, Sharad sir, for your time, for your efforts. Thank you so much.